There's pandemonium in the Garden. The real UT has been crowned. We love G. The Knicks do not. Welcome to Chatt It Up Sports. Hit it, Joseph! Welcome to Chatt It Up Sports. I am the happier of the hosts today after a tough night in MSG.
Yeah.
The Vols won just now.
They did. That made me a little bit happier. And the Mets won the other night too, so that helped for sure. But yeah, that was a rough one on a Wednesday.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Was not too thrilled. You just let one slip away.
You really let one slip away.
And in a playoff series, you just can't give those things up.
Why is the Pacers-Knicks series always so good?
It really is always so good. And just because we lost this game, I really, as devastated as I was watching that game last night, because there was a time in which I'm watching that game and I'm thinking to myself, with 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go, up by like 14 or whatever it was, I'm like, this is exactly how I thought this game would go.
Yep.
Knicks taking care of business, taking it to the Pacers. They are the better team, and they're showing it right now. Now, Joseph and I had a conversation before the show, and we said, look, despite the loss, it took that shot from Tyrese Halliburton to get it to overtime, and it took Aaron Nesmith 8 for 9 from downtown to even get them to that point.
Yep.
For Tyrese to hit that shot, took OG Anunoby missing a free throw to give them that window. Because imagine he hits both free throws. They're up by 3. Tyrese goes and takes that step back shot. It bounces in. They go crazy. They think it's overtime. You go back and you watch the replay, and it's toe on the line. That's a 2. Knicks win by 1.
It would feel like it would be the worst toe on the line since the Nets, Kevin Durant versus Milwaukee.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, it's crazy to think about. Like, you guys were that close. And also for Nesmith, also just played fantastic in overtime.
He did.
Or Nembhard, too. That's what I was thinking of. Nembhard having an awesome night. Like, dude, these guys have the Pacers have a pace that just is going to wear you out eventually. And I heard a good question today on Mostly Sports, and they were like, do you feel like it's already getting to the Knicks? How fast they're playing and how many points they're scoring. Like, nobody's used to this outside the Pacers.
Really. Well, they only scored 13 fast break points.
Yeah.
In the game. So it's like, I'm not even worried. Like, I'm extremely disappointed by what happened.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, the only thing that I'm worried about when it comes to the Knickerbockers is the mental toll that this game could potentially take on them moving forward.
Yeah.
If they're able to shake that off and get back to playing New York Knicks basketball, I wholeheartedly believe they are the more talented, better team, more deserving team to go to the finals. But the only thing that I'm worried about is the mental side of this loss, because it was such a devastating loss to that team, that franchise. Last time we got to the Eastern Conference Finals, it was that team. It was Reggie Miller. I don't remember if he was in the building or not, but you know, you had Halliburton with the choke sign like Reggie threw up there. I mean, like, that's just an iconic situation for the Pacers, and it's very apropos that happened against the Pacers.
Yeah, and the funny thing was that's who Halliburton pointed out.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, Reggie, like, oh, he loved it. He ate it up, dude. He was like, I own this place. I own this building. I ain't scared of nobody out here. It was a funny little post game afterwards, but I was like, golly bum, man. That Garden atmosphere was awesome. And another part of it too was watching like how good the offense was for both sides early on. Watching that first quarter, I was like, dude, I don't know if people are not playing defense or offense is so good right now. Everybody was hitting everything. I think the Pacers started like 9 for 9, and the Knicks were like 8 for 11. And it was like just rolling back and forth, and everybody was getting these perfect little like mid-range jumpers and the floaters were going down. It's like, man, this is going to be a good game. You knew right away. Like sometimes you have the vibe. You're like, we'll see. Like, it might wind up close, but it's like somebody was up 25 or somebody was up, 17 and somebody came back. But this was like kind of going down for a while. Then you make a run. And this was one of the best games we've got to watch in a long, long time. And it's always Pacers, Knicks. Last year was great. This year's great. I think we're going probably 7, but definitely 6.
Knicks and 6.
Knicks and 6.
Knicks and 6.
I am cheering for you. I really am. I mean, as somebody who may be leaving his own fan base in the Atlanta Hawks, don't know how much longer I can take this. I cheer for my boys here.
I stayed on the bandwagon for 25 years through some miserable basketball. You got like one good season in like 2011 or 12 or what it was with Jason Kidd and Tyson Chandler and Melo and JR and all those guys, Steve Novak.
Novak was on that team.
He was given the belt.
God, dude, I forgot about some of those cats.
Oh, man, I loved it. Kmart was on that team.
Was he really?
Yeah, Kmart was on that team. They just like brought everybody from the old Nuggets team. Was like, hey, come on, you want to come back? Marcus Camby, are you interested still?
Marcus Camby, what a first overall pick.
UMass
stud, dude. He was a monster. There was, I feel like it was one of those like this age in basketball Instagrams, and they put up Camby highlights, and I was like,
he was so good.
Dang, dude. There's a reason that guy was a stud.
Yeah, it was just like you went from Patrick Ewing, Marcus Camby to Marcus Camby. Like it was such a cool big man transition in the New York Knicks lore.
Yeah,
in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Off the top of my head, where did Ewing go after?
He was with the Supersonics and he was with the Magic. Wow. It was kind of like after it felt like after Mike Piazza left the Mets, he went to the Padres and he went to the A's. It was just kind of like just these very obscure places. Like I always kind of lump those two guys together.
Yeah.
In terms of like, I know Piazza wasn't drafted by the Mets, but he traded to the Mets, had his Hall of Fame career with the Mets, mostly big moments with the Mets. And then, obviously Ewing was drafted by the Knicks. And then they went to like 2 stops for like 2 different seasons after they were with the team that they were with for a long time. And it just kind of rode out into obscurity.
It really did. Yeah. Cause I do remember him being on the Magic now because that's where he got his first like coaching gig or assistant coaching gig. And I was like, oh yeah. But I did not realize he was on the Supersonics.
Yeah, he was. Yep.
Dang, dude.
Yep.
I knew Patrick. I knew Patrick was floated around for a minute.
I have no idea statistics are with those two.
It had to be a hard fall off, right? I don't remember.
Sure. Because his knees were so bad, dude.
Yeah.
I feel so bad, but his knees were terrible.
He's another one, man. Like, just give him, you don't have to give him, nowadays, whatever else, but just give him modern medicine. He would have been a different creature for probably 4 or 5 more years.
He played for Seattle from 2000 to 2001. He played 79 games and started 79 games for the Supersonics.
What kind of stats we have for Patrick?
We've got 9.5 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, let's see, how many blocks, just a little over a block a game. Not bad. I mean,
yeah,
it's fine. But then, when he went to Orlando, he didn't start very many games, only started 4 games, did play in 65 of them, averaged 6 points and 4 rebounds.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a pretty steady drop off.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, his whole Knick career, basically, he averaged over 20 points from his first year in 85-86 until 97-98. He averaged over 20 points a game. And then it was 17. That was 15 in his last year with the Knicks in 99-2000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Big drop off.
I mean, that dude was steady. He played like started and played, except for 97-98 when he only played 26 games. And then 98-99, he played 38. So little injury bug there at age 35, 36. Came back strong and played and started in 62 games at 37 years old.
Whoa.
When the Knicks went to the NBA Finals against the Spurs that year in 99-2000.
That's a tough Spurs team.
It was.
That's a big tough Spurs team. Yeah, man, I'm sorry. Patrick just had a really tough era of basketball.
I mean, you look at everybody from that era, though. It was just like MJ kept a lot of dudes from getting rings, like Patrick, Reggie Miller, You look at
Karl Malone,
John Stockton, Barkley. Just so many guys.
Yeah. Where I do feel like
Gary Payton, Sean Kemp,
especially now with the Thunder, and we're sitting here watching.
Detlef Shrimp.
Yeah, Detlef Shrimp didn't get a title, dude. God.
How did that happen?
If Shrimp couldn't get a title, who can?
I don't know.
That's the thing.
Great name. I actually didn't really know him as a player. I knew him more from Parks and Rec.
Whoa.
That's when I discovered Detlef
wow.
Shrimp, to be
okay.
honest with you.
Really, he's just like the name guy. Like, he just had such a cool name.
Yeah.
People knew about him. Couldn't tell you any stats from Detlef Shrimp's career. I knew he was pretty good.
He was.
Yeah. So that's all I really know was, it was just a little before we watched a whole lot of basketball.
Yeah.
But you always love the Supersonics retro stuff.
I did. I really loved them. I hope they bring the Supersonics back in some capacity.
I can't wait. I don't know what Vegas is going to be, but they're definitely bringing it. Seattle's like, we need this back.
Yes.
They really do. They do. Washington needs a pick me up right now. So, also watching SGA get his MVP. I saw the stat that Joker finished top 3 in points, rebounds, and assists per game.
It's not surprising.
Not surprising. No. Didn't get it. And I was like, I still feel like SGA deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm getting by that is if he were to go on and win a title this year, and it really does feel like they're the front runners. Like, I know it's only one game. We're not going to talk about game 2 at all because we're watching it and it'll be podcast on Tuesday or Friday. So I was like, are we in an era now, especially with this new second apron coming, and it's basically just a hard cap now. This is a lot of parity. So guys like Giannis are going to get a title. Guys like Jokic are going to get a title.
Even the second-rate star like Jason Tatum is going to get a title.
Yeah.
God. I mean, he needed a crap ton of help to get it, but he got it.
He got it. He's going to get a title. Yeah. Like, they're going to fall apart next year. Like, they're going to have to dismantle like some of that team. So it's going to be very hard for them to win. Of course, you never know. Like, Giannis had a perfect path that one year. So it's like, you can maybe get one, but if the Thunder go get this one, or honestly, Knicks or Pacers get this one, or the Timberwolves, like, somebody's going to win that one, and it's going to be different every other year now.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, this will be a dynasty. And it's like, you thought Denver was not going to lose for a while, and then they keep getting put out these last 2 years.
Yeah, it's just, you pay Michael Porter Jr. all that money. It's like, what kind of decisions are we really making out there in Mile High City?
There's a reason that GM got fired, Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, they're like, that guy's not going to wind up being as good as we thought.
No, but I mean, look, that's sports. We all, in any aspect, GM is a very difficult job.
Oh, yeah.
You have to try to project out guys. You have to try to pay them accordingly. Guys have egos. They want to be paid. I mean, I saw something I posted on my story a couple of days ago about like Jalen Brunson is making less than like there was like a ton of like guys.
Oh man,
there were some really good ones on there. I would love to be able to pull
all right, so Jordan Poole. I remember Jordan Poole.
Yep. Michael Porter
Jr. Who else am I thinking of? God, I want to try to list it.
I want to see if I can find it.
All right. Michael Porter Jr. And those are really good ones. Rudy Gobert, maybe. There's quite a few. I mean, listen, $26 million. I think, Joseph, you'd take that, wouldn't you, buddy?
26 mil, man. Yeah.
You take that a year? 26 mil a year? Be nice. Just like that Red Bull video I sent you guys. I'd take the floating house.
That's crazy how they did that.
Yeah, if you guys haven't, check out F1. It's from our favorite guy, Joe Pompiano. He posted today about the best, I guess, like, I don't even know, floating house, mobile home that Red Bull does for all their F1 races. It's amazing. It's just the coolest thing. I can't even describe it well enough to make it worthy, but it's awesome. There's just a lot of parity in the NBA right now. And Jalen Brunson, if he wins this series, what a run for his Knicks kingdom, basically. Yeah. Where would you put him, like, amongst your Knicks favorites if he were to? I mean, let's just say get you to the championship.
If he gets me to the championship, I mean, he's an all-time Knick. I mean, just honestly, I'd love them to get back to the championship. Like, again, it hasn't happened since 99, 2000, but like, getting to the Eastern Conference Finals is already iconic for him. Mm-hmm. And look, it's not just him. Like, they've established a really good quality team here with a lot of different pieces, a lot of depth. They've, knock on wood, been able to stay healthy this year, which is something they weren't able to do, and still lost to the Pacers in 6 games last year without Bridges, without a healthy Jalen Brunson at the end, Josh Hart, the whole thing. So, I mean, he's an all-time Knick already. Patrick never won one. He came here. He took less money to come here. He wanted to be here with his dad. So, to me, he's already an all-time Knick.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think about it. As far as a 1 through 5, they are very elite right now.
Yeah.
I mean, just to think about where Bridges was in Brooklyn a few years ago, putting up stupid numbers. The guys like Bridges can go out there and put up triple doubles, get you a 30, 10, and 11 night. If he's the number one guy, but he's taking a smaller back seat. Obviously, he's still a huge part of this offense. Like, it's really him and Cat most of the nights are your 2-3s, and they'll flip flop. And now you got Cat playing at a higher level than he's played as far as consistency. I think he's a freak of nature 7-footer. He's always going to get you stats.
Yeah.
But for the first time in a long time, you're getting guys playing together, and it's all because Brunson's just got the leadership aspect. OG is taking a pretty far back seat from what everybody was talking about. Remember when he was in that trade market forever and the free agency market? It's like, dude, they're going to give up a lot for OG, and it's like
they paid him a heck of a lot of money.
They did.
I think he's making more than.
That market. He
is making more than Jalen Brunson. I've got the list now. I found it.
Fire away.
Okay, so I'm just going to read you the surprising ones because Steph Curry's making more.
Yeah,
it's fine, whatever. Bradley Beal.
That's another one.
Making more than Jalen Brunson. Jimmy Butler making more. Rudy Gobert. You were right.
I thought it was Rudy. I knew Rudy had the dumbest contract of all time.
Trae Young.
That's another one.
Zach LaVine. It doesn't say how much they're making, but they're making more. He's making more than Jalen Brunson right now. Fred VanVleet is making more than Jalen Brunson.
That Houston money, baby. Yeah. Go be a vet.
Lauri Markkanen to lose a bleep ton of games out in Utah.
There was a point last year early on when they were winning that I think he was the first or second favorite to win the MVP. Think about that. And he was awesome. There was a point when they were winning earlier and people didn't figure them out. I think so. They got a couple guys get injured and stuff, but there was a point where he was odds-on favorite, I believe, for at least a couple weeks to win MVP.
That's hilarious. I mean, he's a good player.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I think he could sort of be like Kristaps Porzingis on the Celtics.
Yeah.
You pair him with a couple of stars, and he can just be the third option. And just cook from distance, mid-range, down low, whatever he's got to do.
Have those 3 or 4 games of the playoffs where he is the most dominant guy on the floor because it's a matchup issue. That's the best part about basketball. Mm-hmm. You just get a matchup. We were talking about it today in our group text, and me and JJ were reminiscing on when we played Hamilton Heights because that is where SGA went to high school, right here in Chattown. Mm-hmm. We were talking about there was definitely no SGA on that Hamilton.
You ever
Heights.
Go see him?
No, I never did. Never did. I didn't come back really and see that because
was that where you were living in Nashville?
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I think so. Yeah. I think that had been about that same time. But yeah, we were just like, wow, the guy that won NBA MVP is right here from Chattanooga.
Yeah,
or went to school here.
Played basketball
here.
In high school. Yeah,
let's get that straight. That's the big part. Was like, man, these guys. How in the hell would you freaking guard them in high school basketball? I was like, dude, Jay, you would have definitely started out on him, and they would have pulled up whoever I was guarding and been like, I want that guy. SGA would have scored 50 on me, and JJ was
let's get a switch.
I heard he was like, I had a feeling. He was like, if I would have had to guard SGA, I would have definitely fouled out in the first quarter, but I don't think I'm fast enough to foul him.
Yeah, at that point, he'd probably be blow-bys unless you're just grabbing him as he's going by you. You just kind of let him go, and hopefully there's help down the chase or something.
Oh, I'm getting posterized multiple times because in high school I was too egotistical to realize that, I was like, I can time this out. I may not be able to jump as high, but I was like, I had great timing.
Yeah.
You got a bloody nose or a bloody mouth?
That looks like nose. You get hit in the face on the jump ball. That's always like a referee's worst nightmare. Bang!
Oh, yeah, got him.
That's a dangerous spot to be there on a jump ball.
Yeah.
You got big dudes swinging their arms around and just,
Lou Dort's no slouch, dude.
No. I
Is
think
that
that's
Dort?
Scott Foster. Oh, yeah. Hold that nose back, big dog.
Look at those trainers. Shout out to the
Yeah.
Oklahoma City Thunder
Yeah.
trainers right here.
All right. So let's continue on with this list. Guys that are making more money than Jalen Brunson. You've got another guy in this series, Pascal Siakam, who's a good player in his
Really
own
good
right,
player,
but
yeah.
not quite on the level of Jalen Brunson, I would think. DeMontis Sabonis, Darius Garland, John Morant, Zion Williamson, OG, BI, Brandon Ingram, Michael Porter Jr.
The market is good to players that leave at the right time or have contracts that end at the right time.
LaMelo Ball.
Malcolm Harris is maybe his secret favorite player.
Yeah, is it?
Don't,
I do like
just,
LaMelo.
Just
On a
try
good
to
team.
think back into the conversations, fellas, and think about like when Miggy's like, dude, if you pair up,
He loves
this guy.
Lonzo, does he not? He loves Lonzo.
he loves Lonzo.
Yeah.
And then he's always like, think about like, if you pair him with LaMelo Ball, man. I was like, no, dude.
I think LaMelo Ball is actually a really good player. He's just on a really shitty team. If you put him on a good team with other good pieces around him, I think he can be a really good player.
Could he basically what he could be in the right spot is a version of Bridges.
Yeah.
That's what that's his.
Well, he's more of a distributor. Bridges isn't really a
yeah,
distributor.
I guess what I'm saying, like in a context of like he has to take a back door, but he can be
Well,
your number one
close.
option. Hey,
yeah. So yes, he could be, yes, for sure. Tyrese Maxey, Bam Adebayo,
both of them, yeah.
Desmond Bain is making more money than
Dude, just timing's everything. If you don't believe it, if you don't believe market timing is
Desmond
everything,
Bane.
then listen to this list.
DeAndre Ayton was another big one. Just
Portland
getting
paid him that
from
much.
Portland, yeah, because he is him, right? He thinks he's
He
him.
is him.
This one was crazy. I saw this one. I couldn't believe it. Former Knick, Emmanuel Quickly is making more money. Than
No
Jalen
way.
Brunson. Emmanuel Quickly.
Is he in Toronto?
Yeah. He may be coming off the bench. Like, I would be curious to see how many games he started this year.
Wow. Dang, dog.
Yeah, that's crazy. That one was the one that I remember seeing it, and I was like, holy shit, no way.
No way, that guy.
He played in 33 games this year. That's it. 33 games. Started all 33 of them, but got hurt. And look, I mean, he put up 17 points per game. So Quickly's a good player. But again, he's not Jalen Brunson. He's not even close.
That is not. That he is not.
Chris Middleton, another former teammate of his,
Wow.
playing in this game right now. Number 55.
What?
Isaiah Hartenstein,
No way.
making more money than Jalen Brunson in the free agency market. Drew Holiday, Jeremy Grant. You mentioned Jordan Poole, Devin Vassell, Kristaps.
Also, I didn't realize Devin Vassell was old enough to get paid.
Yeah. He's kind of irrelevant out there in San Antonio.
He's always a part of these trade talks now. It's
He
like,
is.
if I want to get rid of somebody.
Getting rid of Vassell. They've got some good young pieces there now at the guard position.
Mhm.
Tyler Hero making more money than Jalen Brunson. His other former teammate, Julius Randle, getting paid.
Man, Julius had a great game one.
He sure did.
He was the only thing from
Yeah,
Minnesota that had a
pretty
good
much.
game one.
You also have Nick Claxton.
Stop it. Nicholas Claxton is making more money?
Nick Claxton. Miles Bridges is making more money. Your boy, John Collins, is making more money than
Stop it.
Jalen Brunson.
Stop. This is a disaster.
Andrew Wiggins is making more money. Anthony Simons, another Portland paid player.
Dude, that's just what that. So all this goes to show you is market timing,
Yeah.
and how much you have to spend on the cap. So if you're Portland, nobody wants to go there. Hey,
Yeah.
you put
You
yourself
gotta
in a terrible spots, and you're overpaying for Anthony Simons and DeAndre Ayton. Sad.
Okay, these next two are going to blow your mind as well.
Oh no, I think I just saw one.
Yeah. The first one is another teammate of his, former teammate, that also plays on Toronto.
plays on Toronto.
He got traded. He was in that trade for OG. Good player, lefty, Canadian.
Oh, I don't
from
know.
Duke.
Lefty Canadian from Duke.
Was there with Zion and Cam Reddish.
RJ Barrett.
There
No
you go.
way.
Yeah, RJ is making more money.
That was in the graphic I saw.
Yes.
Yeah, RJ was in that one.
And then the last one that I couldn't even believe because I don't even know this guy, Jonathan Isaac.
Oh yeah,
Orlando.
Yeah, great.
Dude.
He was part of that like sick Florida State run. They had like all those monsters that come out of there.
My guy started one game this year.
Yeah,
played in 71, averaged 5.5 points, 4.5 rebounds.
Yep.
What are we doing?
Yeah, Jonathan Isaac is
Golly,
Jonathan
Moses.
Isaac is the guy where you look at him, he's probably like 6'8", 6'9", moves super well, can shoot it, can handle it, and then he plays sometimes.
He's 6'10", 230.
Yeah.
And he shoots 32% for his career from three, shot 26% this year from three.
Yeah. It is one of those deals where until you watch it, you're like, oh yeah. He's got all these tools and he's got the bag, he's got the look. Isaac's a great guy. I know he's like done a lot of, good work, but it's like, dude, if I had to tell you how
gas
good,
up. Hey, he's got a great personality.
yeah.
But
If I have to tell you how good of a personality he is, it's like it's the Olympic gold medal argument. The sooner you have to talk about their Olympic gold medals, the sooner the worse their resume is.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. So I wanted to ask you this because, again, you can get my impassioned take as a Knicks fan. And again, I'm still wearing my orange and blue colored glasses. I get it.
Yes.
But I want to get an more unbiased take from your perspective. Or I see Aaron Perry and some other people who are in the chat. I don't know if Joseph, if anybody looks, if anybody has anything relevant to say. I see Aaron in the chat. Is there anything relevant there that we can bring to our attention?
He had talked about Julius Randle being a good player in the Cat trade. He thought it was good for both teams.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It really has worked out that both of them got to the conference finals. I was like, I really wanted that. I like Julius.
I do too. I really like his game.
I do. I really do. And it is sometimes annoying because he's pretty selfish at points of his career, but then also he's been like a perfect point forward. And you're like, man, if you could just find that, like those scoring nights of the Knicks, and then also find your distribution days of the Lakers, that's a perfect combination. Like he's really like one of the most all-around talented guys, but he's doing great out there in Minnesota. Obviously he's had a great year. So good for both of them. Both teams, conference finals worked out. And somehow Julius Randle is like the perfect piece for what you thought was going to be a disaster. Like how in the world are you going to play Randle and Gobert?
Well, that's why I thought it would work because like they had two centers between Cat and Rudy, and it just seemed like I know Cat can play a little bit more outside. I get it, but like he should be more of a five. And Julius feels like more of a good fit for Minnesota because it's like, okay, I got my true five in Rudy, and okay, I got my stretch four in Julius. We don't need all of that size out there that really can't move all that well because Julius is he's quicker. He's a better defender than a guy like Cat. And Cat was probably having to guard those fours that are a little bit more quicker, a little bit more athletic, or maybe Rudy did and they switched. I don't know. But yeah, it just feels like a good fit for both squads.
It does feel like a better fit. Because I just know like there for a while, Randall is like, so he'll just get in those modes where he's just going to go play bully ball downhill. Yes. So it gets you a little worried. And I was like, man, Rudy just is so non-stretch.
Oh yeah.
That it causes so many issues, but they just made it work, man. They just made it work, and good for them.
So yeah, my question to you was, as an unbiased, just pure basketball fan, you can tell me if I'm crazy, if I'm wrong, or if you feel the same way. How do you feel about this series after game one? Do you feel any confidence towards the Knicks, or do you think this was too big of a loss to come back from, and the Pacers probably going to win this series?
Basketball non-overreactive fan that's usually just pretty understanding of how this thing goes. I would not be surprised if Knicks come out and just blast them at home. Like I think the NBA playoffs are the funnest to overreact, but then the next game you could literally see the exact opposite.
Yeah.
I think NBA players are too good to fall apart like that. Like a college team, this obviously breaks you. You've seen teams fall apart, but like in a 7-game series, I've just seen it too many times where you bounce back and tear them apart. But I think the Knicks are just overall better. Like, go down the line and you're like, all right, 1 versus 1. I'm probably taking Brunson over Halliburton.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Siakam versus, you can choose. I'll probably
do you want to
take
go? Do you want to go? Because Josh Hart's probably the 2.
I guess I'm saying like second best player.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Second best
probably
player.
be Cat.
Yeah, Cat versus Siakam.
I'll take Cat.
Probably take Cat.
Yeah.
So then your third best player is Bridges. And I guess you could either pick. I'd probably say Miles Turner.
Really? Over like Neesmith or
Probably
Nembhard?
over Neesmith. Just let's see.
I mean, he had a really good game 1.
He had a good game
Don't
1,
get
but
me
he's only
wrong.
averaging 12 points.
12 points a game.
Yeah.
Well, how much is Turner in Nembhard averaging?
Let's
it can't be. Nembhard's 10.
Miles is 16.
Okay, yeah. So you're right. I would say. Miles.
Yeah, and like this is the way like what they mean to that team, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking Bridges over Miles Turner, and then definitely taking Josh Hart or OG over either one of the other 2. Like, so they're starting 5. Like, that's the thing.
Like,
but then sometimes that doesn't matter because
know it
it's
doesn't.
just like the way they play with each other. And Halliburton's been so good in the playoffs that you're not going to get the same numbers as Brunson, but like the impact just means a lot more sometimes. And it's like, dang, man. I don't know. I think this is going to be a great series. I love the overreaction of both games. Like, I love that you're going to be like, okay, Knicks are going to win this one. They're just a better team. It's going to be close. And then the Pacers shock you game 2 with like one of the coolest moments in basketball we've had in a long time. Halliburton's been super clutch. I mean, like, I think his numbers now, I don't know if this is perfect, but I know it's close. I think he's 11 for 12 on shots inside of 3 seconds.
Damn.
Boy's clutch.
Yeah.
But then you also have probably the second or the most clutch guy in the league per the people. I guess they voted him the most clutch guy in the league is Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, but he missed that big shot at the end of the game last night.
Yeah. That is one of the tough spots you are in as like by far the one guy you throw it to. It's like you have to take that shot. I think that's
I would have even been okay with him not taking that shot, if I'm being honest. Like, with the matchup, I think it was
Nembhard.
Is Nembhard on him. I mean, that's again, I get it. You want your best player, but as we just alluded to, like, I know Bridges didn't shoot the ball well in game 1, but like, I think if you get an open shot, I would have almost rather have swung it around to get an open shot with either, any of the Cat.
Really, and you do have
except for Josh Hart, but like Cat, OG, or Bridges, I probably would have been okay with any of those things.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, like, with Hart, everybody was just standing around. That can't happen because Hart's such a good cutter, and like he does all those little things that like you could find a spot where Hart winds up being the guy because you have this backdoor cut and he finds the wide open lane. And that's what happened with Nembhard and OT and
Hart fell asleep.
He
never does that either.
I know.
It's crazy.
That's one of those that
I couldn't believe it.
There's so many little things.
And also, the Knicks missed 12 free throws last night. They went 28 for 40.
It's bad, dude.
You shot 70%. I mean, I know it's the old adage, you make just half of those, you win the game. It's not even close. But
yeah.
You got
to
deal with what it was. So it is what it is. But again, OG makes 2 there in that spot, a normally good free throw shooter. And we're not having this discussion right now.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you still have faith at the very least.
I do. And I hope all basketball fans do, because these two teams are like such a good matchup. And I don't know if it's small market, big market, redneck city kids. Like, it's like all these little things are perfect about the Pacers versus the Knicks.
Freaking, that's the team I hate the most in the NBA.
Both like weirdly rabid fan bases.
Mm-hmm.
because the Pacers are so back. The Pacers
Mhm.
fan base is so back.
Yep.
Those places are so amazing. Like you can hear the crowd noise, and like I think that's another part is I think Minnesota's obviously picked it up. When you get somebody like Ant, your fan base just grows, and you get kids involved. Oklahoma City has been, even by coaches, has been the best place, or like the toughest place to play. It's the loudest. That's all they've got, and they love them.
Exactly.
They love them, especially now. You're young. You got the best player maybe in the league, and SGA, I guess, in the MVP status world of that. But we've got really good basketball. We have really good basketball. Joseph, you watched hockey last night. How good was hockey?
Incredible. It was a euphoric experience. It was the first time I've watched. It was the most hockey I've ever watched in my entire life. It was the last 2 minutes of the second period between the Stars and the Oilers.
On yourself, by
the way.
Yeah. Sorry. It was the last 2 minutes between the Stars and the Oilers, and it was sick. I knew nothing about what was happening. I don't know any of the rules. I understand what a power play is.
Yeah.
I understand that you have a man advantage on the ice now. I said on the court, on the ice now, and that was electric, dude. Watching Dallas come back and go up 5-3 at home. I think they ultimately won 6-3. Was incredible. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to buy Dallas Stars merch, but I might, because they might be the one. Like, I just flipped the game on and it was electric. It was so electric.
All right.
So I mean, we'll give it some time.
Can be electric.
We'll give it some time. I'm very interested in watching Game 2 on Friday. We'll see.
Locked in.
We'll see. We'll see.
The reason I say that is like we are in such a great world of like playoffs right now, and we're gonna get there in a second. But like the Vols, Texas today, and the SEC baseball, I keep forgetting how good of a time like Memorial Day week and weekend is for sports. Like, it can almost be overwhelming, like the first round of the NBA playoffs and the first round of the hockey playoffs. Like, there's so much going on every night. You're like, I don't know which one game's on NBA Network or NBA TV, and then I got some random channel the NHL playoffs are on, and then baseball's kind of coming through, and I don't know, it's just a lot. And then this weekend, you just have one game each night for each conference in both sports, and then you have SEC baseball 4 and 7. Wonderful, wonderful time of the year. Sneaky good holiday. I loved it. What else you got on the NBA? Anything else you want to pardon take before Friday nights?
No.
Okay.
Nope. I got nothing. I still believe in the Knicks, and last night was an aberration. They needed a lot of things to go right in order for them to win the game, and I just want to kind of throw out some of the stats of this game because I wrote them down. I figured I want to use them since I did write them down. But
obviously,
NBA teams leading by 9+ points in the final minute of the fourth quarter or overtime had won 1,414 straight playoff games since 1998 until Wednesday night.
Wow. How many?
1,414 games. Straight.
That doesn't feel like a real number. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Dang, dog.
Yeah, it's crazy. Checks bounce, but we bounce back. That's all I got.
I think it's a quote by Malcolm Harris that he probably took from somebody else, but I'm going to give Malcolm Harris. I'm going to always quote Malcolm Harris whenever I say that. Miss you. Also, tomorrow or Friday, if you're listening to the pod, they had an awesome interview with
I can't wait to
an Olympic gold medalist, Olivia Reeves. So that'll be fantastic. GT and Miggy, we thank you for rallying up and going out to that awesome event because Olivia, you're the best. She wrote on a magazine cover for my daughter and also GT's daughter. She says, "Strong is cool." And I was like, hell yeah. Strong is cool. My daughter's already crawling.
You already know that. I mean, Grace is going to know that from her dad.
My dude she's already strong, dude.
Yeah. I saw her starting to crawl a little bit.
Starting to crawl a lot. Around the house. All around the house. And she's starting to pull up. We have found in the middle of the night when she's hungry, she can now crawl and climb up her bed.
Hannah says, I'm about to pour all my paychecks into child-proofing this house.
Dude, it's unbelievable. I was like, stairs are stupid. Stairs are dumb as a dad. Stairs are dumb.
Serve no purpose.
None. It's just a travesty. It's so scary.
Yeah.
My little girl never know if she's going to fall off now. She's crawling around. Stairs are stupid. I'm going to stick by it. Safety is sexy.
Safety is sexy.
I don't know. So, yeah, all this is strong is cool. Strong is cool until it causes safety hazards. So I don't know if she's supposed to be crawling this much and pulling herself up this high yet, but
she's an athlete. She's got athletic parents. She's ready to roll.
Yeah. Yeah, I joked about that until this started happening. I was like, oh, no. Now the fun begins. So my aunt told me last night. I was like, that's all you got? No tips? Nothing. Didn't respond back.
Nice.
Sick.
Appreciate it.
That's great. So
good talk.
There's your parenting pitch for the day. The real UT one.
I was going to say, you know what else is sexy? The real TUT winning the SEC tournament.
Did you guys notice the hat situation? They looked the exact same.
They sure did.
The exact same. That tee on a camera on a 40, what do we got over there? 48-inch TV, 42-inch TV, maybe?
Whatever it is.
You can't tell the difference.
No.
You cannot tell the difference. On the big boy at home, maybe you can tell the difference, but not this. Not this place. You are in a great spot if you're UT now. How do you, Joseph, I'll ask you, because I know you are a spot where your Georgia Bulldogs are definitely going to be going to host the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like the Vols have to win the tournament or at least make the championship? Which one would you say to be a host?
I think beating Texas bolsters your resume a lot. I don't know if you have to win the tournament, but I think you have to at least make the finals. I'd say if you make the final, depending on who it's against, I mean, I think you've got a pretty good shot to win it now that you've bounced Texas.
Yeah.
I know Florida got bounced by Ole Miss. Texas A&M bounced Auburn. So, you know, depending on what happens between Oklahoma and Vanderbilt, you've got a pretty good shot to win the thing. So I like your chances if you win it to host a regional versus not.
Yeah. I hate to like do the matchup stuff, but you kind of need Vanderbilt to win that.
Mm-hmm.
Go on. Tennessee's now going to be playing in the semifinals Saturday at 1 p.m. That'll be fantastic. Please stop, Brain.
Yeah.
Just please stop. I was listening to our guys down in Birmingham. What am I thinking of? Next round. And they were talking about like death, taxes, and games getting rained out in Birmingham at the old Met. So it is astonishing. Like, this is the perfect year again, like mid to late May. You're just going to get it in the South. It's what happens. So I'm hoping that holds off. I don't know how you're going to get all the way through Sunday perfectly, but who knows? Good Lord may open those windows up for us. We need that.
Hope so.
Because there's going to be some sick matchups. Like, me and my father-in-law were talking about it last night. The fact that Tennessee is your 8 seed. Texas A&M is your 14 seed.
That's crazy. I look, it's going to be difficult no matter who you play. Like, there's so much parity in the SEC. It doesn't really matter what your seeding is. But based on how the last series went against Vanderbilt in the in-state rivalry that they have, like, selfishly, I hope that we get Tennessee Vanderbilt.
Me too.
I really do. Like, I mean, Oklahoma beating Georgia.
Well, you kind of want, in my opinion at least, you want Vanderbilt to win, because if Oklahoma wins, they'll probably play the ace that they have, the kid that pitched against Georgia, and he's disgusting.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a tough matchup. And plus, like you said, the get back factor, it plays into effect.
It
like,
definitely
you
does.
want that chance.
And I don't know if did you guys see the video of Vols getting off the bus day one?
I saw Tony Vitello mic'd up. Cool.
It's pretty sweet to like watch these different teams. Like, I do have I think Texas is like, they're obviously gonna be super competitive. They want to win, but Tennessee got off that bus. It's like, this is business, dog. We have to do really well here. Like, I think
we want to host.
I think Tony just beat that into him. Was like, guys, don't be the Tennessee team that doesn't at least host.
Yeah.
So
it's such an advantage.
It is.
To host that
Lindsey Nelson, smaller park, like you're hitting bombs again. Did you guys hear this? Were you in there listening to the home run stat for Tennessee?
Mm-mm.
No.
Okay, I don't know the exact number.
Throw out the numbers.
But Tennessee has hit 100 in the past 5 years, 4 or 5 years. Tennessee has hit 123 more home runs than the second best team
Wow.
in
The
that
last
span.
3 years?
4 years.
4 years?
4
Wow.
years.
Yeah, they've been in, a home
5.
run
No,
hit.
it is 5 years because I was
5
thinking,
years?
yeah, because it was like 4 years. You could have taken 4 years off. And basically, like, you could have taken this year off and they would have been at least tied. That's crazy to think about,
wild.
dude.
That is wild.
Tennessee is racking up bombs.
Yeah.
And this is an off year. And you only had a casual 120. What was it, 2 years ago? I think last year they hit 180, something crazy. That's a lot of dingers.
Yeah. It's a lot of long balls. You know, chicks dig the long balls. So, like, they're just living out there, living right in Knoxville. That's pretty impressive. So, yeah, getting on to the semis. Again, winner of Oklahoma, Vanderbilt tonight at 9 o'clock. And we've still got a couple of matchups to go on Friday.
Yeah.
To determine the other semifinals. So we'll know one side of the bracket. And then by Friday night, we'll know the other side between Ole Miss versus Arkansas, the 7 versus the 2, or like you said, Texas A&M and number 3 LSU.
Okay. I wanted to ask you this question.
Okay.
With no preface it, actually. Tennessee played their first game at 10:30, or they're supposed to play at 10:30 a.m. You also played a game at 10:30 a.m. in softball, right? You played 2 games. Didn't you play early games in the tournament?
Did we?
Weren't you guys the first game?
Yeah, we were.
Y'all the first game.
Yeah.
How weird is that? Or did you guys kind of like it?
Honestly, we didn't really like it.
Yeah.
I think we would have rather played maybe a little bit later, but from a selfish perspective, if you take care of business, it's nice you got the rest of the day off. You're not waiting around. You're not, waiting for a game to finish. It's, hey, we go in, we handle business, and we are done for the day, and we can just rest and recuperate. But it's the old rest versus rust, situation where Mercer was the team that had the momentum. They kept winning. They had to keep winning. Their backs were against the wall. They had all this momentum. They were going, knocking down big teams like between us and UNCG and, just all like Furman gave them a game in the first, game that they played. That could have knocked them out if they lost that game.
Yeah.
So, it is really about who gets hot in the tournament. Again, it's not really much about your seeds.
No.
If a team is able to get hot at the end of the year like Mercer was, you can ride that momentum. Even though we didn't play great against ETSU. We did win 2 out of 3, but we didn't play great against them. The year before in 2024, we dominated Western Carolina, and we felt real good going into the conference tournament. Now we did lose to UNCG, so again, our backs were against the wall. We had to kind of survive in advance, get back to the final, and we used that momentum to carry us through the championship. But I don't know. It felt a little different this year.
Yeah. The reason I asked is I was like, I don't know if that's a good spot or a bad spot, especially in single elimination tournaments, because you're just fighting for your life so hard right now.
And that's the thing that's also different is that that's single elimination for SEC baseball. So ours is double elimination after the first round.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different. The mindset is a little bit different sometimes. Obviously, there's that sense of urgency. You don't want to have to go to the loser's bracket and fight through it. You want to stay like we did in the winner's bracket and kind of advance through. We just played. Our thing was hey, we just got to win 3 games this weekend. That's it. We win 3 games. We're champions. And, we won 2 and then just couldn't find the third one.
Yeah. It's interesting because I was looking back too. I was thinking about who got hot in the tournament. Maybe I was a little wrong on this, but
what are you thinking about?
I was thinking I thought there was Ole Miss was another one. They got hot at the right time 2 years ago. But then I look back, I'm Tennessee was by far the best team last year.
Yeah.
I thought talent wise in 23, LSU was, because you had Skeens, you had just so many guys in the infield and the outfield. They dominated. Yeah, they were so good. Didn't you have the 1 and 2? The draft that
year? Yeah, they were 1 and 2.
Yeah, and then you had Tommy Tanks over
dog.
there at third base.
Yeah,
right?
because he came back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ole Miss was they had to after Mississippi State won it the year before, but like Mississippi State was probably the best team that year or one of the top 3. Like, so it didn't feel like that. But I in my mind, I was thinking back. I was like, Coastal Carolina wasn't, and then like even like back in the day, like when Fresno State won, like there's some of these teams that got hot, but didn't feel like I was as solid on that. It's like Virginia was good that win 15, but they had to make a huge run to get there. Yeah, it's just like some of these teams weren't. They're a lot better than I thought they would have been. I guess like I thought that Coastal team was bad, or not bad, but like mediocre. And it was like 55-18. I was like, oh yeah, what do I know?
But again, you're playing in a lesser conference as well. Sometimes you can just kind of like rack up wins if you just absolutely dominate, and maybe you don't put the teams that are going to give you problems on your schedule, so you can just like rack up wins to make your resume look better.
Which now that doesn't happen. I was looking around this year a lot. I mean, just box scores on the midweek games like Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and you're like Oregon, which no longer a divisional matchup. Oregon State was a midweek game. I was like, what?
Yeah,
okay,
weird.
yeah,
weird.
2 ranked teams going against each other on a midweek. Okay,
yeah, but like that's what big conferences do. Like some smaller conferences, like if they want to be, if the teams in smaller conferences, the group of 5 or outside of that want to be in play with the bigger boys or girls or whatever, like you have to go play in some of those tournaments. You have to go schedule some of those big matchups.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're just going to be viewed as like, hey, you're just sort of like trying to rack up wins, and like you're not really testing yourself, and it's just kind of like, okay, like the competition you're playing is like, all right, you got your conference, and then like, well, there's not much else outside of that. You're not really challenging yourself.
No, I don't know why Coastal was another team I've kind of grown fond. They've grown on me, and they're another team I just kind of watch. I guess they're like one of those sneaky good baseball schools.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are,
and
they had a good softball team this year too.
Really?
Yeah.
That's another school. I'm like, how do you guys not recruit everybody?
Oh God, it's so nice out there.
Beautiful, huh?
Yeah. I've never actually been, but I've talked to people who have been out there, like broadcasters and stuff like that, because they were in the Sun Belt with us in Louisiana. And so, we would talk about going out there all the time. Where's Coastal again? What is that city?
Isn't it Myrtle Beach?
No.
Is Coastal in Myrtle?
No, it's
I thought
not
it was
Myrtle.
close.
It may be close, but it's not Myrtle. IT's on it. Conway. That's right. Conway, South Carolina.
Nice.
Yes, Conway. I've heard great things about it. And like the stadiums are both beautiful, like so nice. It's close to the water.
It is.
Coast, like.
Oh, that would be so fun.
Come on.
Yeah, very close to Dirty Myrtle.
Yes, it is close to. I love Myrtle Beach.
I've had a lot of fun.
I've had some of my best memories of Myrtle Beach.
It is so much fun. Yeah, dude. Me too. And it was so close to us.
Yeah.
Like that was the closest beach to Johnson City, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Just the way you take interstates, I do forget like how lucky we were. Like I think about it in Johnson City. I'm like, man, I could travel what felt like 5, maybe 5.5 hours and get to so many places within like an easy college drive. Let's be honest. Like different animal when you're a college kid.
Yeah.
We took weekend trips to Myrtle Beach and Charlotte and stopped in. Like we just did that stuff because who
How
cares
far
about
was it?
time?
Was it 5?
It's like 5 hours.
Okay. What about Charlotte? How far was Charlotte from?
3 hours.
Okay.
So we would hit one of our favorite trips back in the day was you would get here's why I thought about back in the day. I was talking to somebody and we were talking about like a resume today. I was like, I have 13 years on my resume. That's where we're at in life. 13 to 14 now. Crazy, dude. Like not like this is like real big boy job stuff. Not the stuff we had in college even.
Well, so you're talking about like right when you graduated?
Yeah. So 20.
You graduated in 13?
Yeah.
So did I.
Yeah.
So we got what, 12?
12 and a half, 12. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
I mean, I think about the jobs I was working when I like first got out of college. It was like I was working at a Honda dealership as like a shuttle driver. I was like a baseball coach at a batting cage. I did lessons. I worked very part-time at WFAN in New York City. Like, scenes, like, yeah, it was,
you just made it work out of college. You just made it work.
You live at home, you grind away.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to get that job right out of college and going to Nashville. I was like, oh man. We good over there? Yeah. No. Okay. But Yeah, I just think about like Washington D.C. wasn't that far. Atlanta was an easy drive, like all because of interstates. The biggest one that surprised me, it's not 5.5 hours, but how fast we got to Miami one time. I was like, wait,
How fast?
it was, I think we got down there in like 10 hours.
Wow.
I was like, wait,
Wow.
yeah, dude. Because you just head down interstate, hit another interstate, and you fly. Now, my boy Ryan definitely drove way too fast. And it was the middle of the night. I remember like we left and I was like, I'll be your passenger for a little while. I was like, I don't know if I can hang all night. He's like, that's fine. He's like, I got it. And yeah, he just powered us on through to spring break. It was awesome.
How quick or how long do you think it would take from here to get to Miami right now?
16 hours?
No, much less.
13?
Much less.
10?
Closer. 11 and a half.
11 and a half hours.
Yeah, with tolls.
Dadgum tolls, dude.
Yeah,
They get you every time.
Every time.
I did not realize how bad tolls were. Like, I guess not like money wise, but like stoppage wise.
Yeah.
One of my best friends needed help moving from, they were on a travel nursing assignment from Hollywood, Florida up to Chattanooga back. And his dad was like, hey, take Jake's truck. Here's some cash. And me and my buddy Mater.
Mater?
Shout
Like
out to
from Cars?
basically.
Mater.
Yeah. We went down there and we drove all night. And boy, stopped at a lot of tolls at a lot of random times in the middle of the night. And I was like, this sucks, dude.
But like tolls nowadays, like I feel like they just could like get it by license plate. So it's like, hey, we'll bill you type of thing. Or
yeah,
not that
this
way?
was 2014.
Okay.
Yeah, so
like
we're a
you
little
had to stop and
yeah, we're
pay
10 years ago now.
Yeah.
10 or 11 years ago now, I think.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think it was 14 or 15 actually. I think it was 15. I think it was 10 years ago. That's crazy to think about. Anyways,
You just like driving by and throw change at the guy. And
yeah,
just keep
basically.
going.
Yeah, I remember like tossing my quarters.
Yeah.
It was great. But also
Who's got dollar bills? Anybody? Yeah.
also now that trip would be probably quadruple the price.
Oh, yeah.
It was a 2005 Tundra. So you can imagine that thing got negative
Not much.
miles to the
Gas
gallon.
mileage.
Yeah.
That's tough.
So I remember just
Constantly buying.
hauling that V8 down the interstate. That was great,
Hauling
dude.
ass.
Dude, and we made that trip. I left work. Yeah, I was working here in Chattanooga. I made her pick me up at 5:30ish on a Friday, and we were back in Chattanooga by probably 3 or 4 on Sunday.
Wow, that's a quick trip.
Buddy, it sure was. It sure was.
Hard and
We
fast.
left super like almost like 2 or 3 a.m. I guess.
On Sunday?
Yeah,
Dang.
yeah.
What did you go down there for? Just
Just to move them out.
oh god.
Yeah, they were like in a really cool little loft. Like I was like, man, this will be so fun. They were, I guess we were what, 24, 25. Yeah, you just took cool travel nursing assignments before it was a thing, you know?
Yeah.
And so they were just like hopping around. I remember they went to New Mexico and then they were sitting down in Hollywood. They were like like you could see from their like loft top window, you could see the beach. Like it was like a block walk. It was so cool. I was like, this would be a dream to live in. Like this, like it was just a small little place, just enough to, you're just hanging. Like they're just living their life for 3 months. So they're like, we don't need anything
nice.
big.
So
They had
nice.
one dog. It was great. It was great, dude.
What a setup.
I know. I was like, man, I could live that life as a young single boy. I'd have been a happy man.
Mm.
Not now. I need the comforts of my own home.
Yes, you do. Yeah, you need it
We
now.
we need all the things. Don't need stairs.
No, stairs. Elevators only.
I want to buy ranch homes for the rest of my life.
All right, last thing we want to hit on. Let's talk a little college football because I think that was something big that kind of came down the pipe today when it comes to the college football playoff.
Yep. Pull it up, Joseph.
Pulling it up.
And you can get involved here too because you're.
I
I'm
think this
very,
is one of those
very
things that
excited.
Joseph was very, very pumped about today.
I think we all were.
We made
Yeah.
the right decision.
Yeah. Well, we've known this should have been the case. This is how the 12-team playoff, or however many more than 4, let's just insert that answer. It should have been based on seeding, like straight seeding. Don't do this because we knew eventually a team was going to make it in, and they were going to be like, you don't deserve a first round bye, and they're going to get a first round bye. And that's exactly what happened with Arizona State and Boise State last year. Arizona State put on a much better show, but now we'll have straight seeding. So this is how the bracket would have looked if it was straight seeding last year. Oregon, Georgia, Texas, and Penn State would have been your top 4 teams. They would have got first round byes, followed by the 12 through 5 matchups. 2 big things on this. The conference champions, the 5 conference champions, they're still guaranteed spots. They're just not guaranteed first round byes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're, number 22 and you won your conference, you'll still make it in. You'll still jump however many teams. And then also Notre Dame is now eligible for byes.
They're what?
Notre Dame is now eligible for a first round bye.
How so?
Because
If
they
they're
would have had to
ranked,
win
like,
a
in the top
conference.
4.
They would have had
just
to win a
top
conference.
four.
Yeah.
So
So according to last year's format,
They
Notre Dame was not eligible for a first
That's
round
right.
bye. Even if they were 12-0, they would not have made it. They would have been the 5th seed. That's the best they could have done. But now they can be, one of the top 4 teams, and they get the first round bye, which is much, much better for Notre Dame, and also just much better for the sport, because now you don't have people arguing about, well, so and so went 9-3, but they won their conference. Conference wasn't really that great, so they're getting a first round bye over somebody who's 10-2 and played a ridiculous schedule. So
White Smoke Pope.
yeah,
Dude,
very welcome
Now
change.
Notre Dame, I would put the house on them top 4 seed now.
See, I love that bracket from 2024, like the revised bracket. Like, I love those matchups
Mhm.
Yes.
so much more. Like, especially as a Tennessee fan, like you'd have against SMU, would feel much better about that matchup than I would.
I would
against
feel
Ohio State.
really good, especially after that poor quarterback
Yeah.
ran around for
Oh my gosh.
basically, I think he got taken out after like 30 minutes. So
Yeah. And then, I mean, getting a chance to place Georgia without Carson Beck, I'd take my chances.
It worked out well for Notre Dame.
It sure did.
it
So-
did.
Or not quite as good as Notre Dame, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, that's
What's your quarterback's name? What is it?
Gunner Stockton.
Gunner.
Gunner.
Yeah.
Gunner,
I was like,
Gunner's the
what-
guy.
I mean, I
man.
love Gunner, but
Dude, for
Gunner's a
for-
dog, man.
yeah.
For a couple quarters,
I see what
people are
you're
like,
saying.
you might want to watch out.
Yeah, like hang on now. This guy's got it. And then the nerves came out, and it's like, oh yeah, he's hasn't started a game yet. So that
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got tape on him for a few minutes.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
gonna be very interesting to watch him this year. I'm
Mhm.
very excited, but I'm also cautious.
Do you think he starts or Puglisi?
Yeah, it'll be him over
Gunner.
right now. Gunner's the starter. Puglisi has done well, but he's kind of turnover prone from what I've heard about camp and scrimmage and stuff. So Gunner's the favorite to be the starter. I wouldn't rule out Puglisi getting a chance. But yeah, if I had, based on the way that the team reacted when he came out in the SEC title game when they were playing Texas, kind of told me it was like, oh, it's Gunner's job to lose.
Mhm.
Because when your team reacts like that, when you incite that kind of emotion from the people you play around and you're the quarterback, that means that the team's willing to go pretty far for you. And I think
Yes.
that's huge.
Says a lot.
Because it says a lot about you, aside from just having talent at quarterback, which I think he has talent. I don't think he's like a refined passer like Carson is. But I like that the team's willing to fight for him. So that's huge for me.
He must be like the big character guy. Like, has to be.
It just seems like Justin and I were talking about this the other night when we did the show together. He just feels like a good old Georgia boy.
Yeah.
Drives a truck,
100%.
like, just he fits better than Carson Beck did.
Played at Rabin County, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
So that fits with the whole.
God, Raven County was crunk,
Yeah,
as they
yeah.
would say back in the day. I was wondering too. I would like to know how big of a difference it's going to make for him just to get every first team rep from here on out. Like, I think that makes a bigger impact for college quarterbacks. Like, and honestly, I was thinking about this even from like a working man's perspective. Like, you go through just situations in life and it scares the crap out of you. And then you're like, oh yeah, I know how to handle that now. It may have looked really bad for Gunner, but at least he knows what sucking looks like. He knows what like adrenaline's going to hit him. Like, those things matter. I remember like my first big game in basketball, I was just scared shitless, dude. And I was like, I had never heard anybody tell me like, this adrenaline's going to hit you. Like, calm yourself down. I did not know how to calm myself down.
Yeah.
And that matters, because after that I was like, sure, you're always going to have nerves, but like, it didn't hit the same. I didn't freak out. I remember like the first 3-pointer I shot, it was a packed house. Like I had this like green and gold game or whatever. And everybody got out of class. I didn't think anybody'd show up. I was like, oh, everybody's just going to dip and leave. That place was packed. Everybody was there. Dude, I remember I launched a 3-pointer in the warm-up line. Dude, I think I could have broke through the backboard, dude. I was like, oh no, this is bad. Yeah. This is really bad. And that made me that made me even more nervous. And the way our teams were structured, it was basically like me versus the other varsity guys. And I was like, so in my mind coming out, I was like, when I was walking out of the tunnel, I was like, I'm about to dominate the rest of the senior class. I was like, I'm going to work these kids. Buddy, I didn't work anything except for my right ankle. I rolled my right ankle like 3 plays in. And I was like, dang it, dude. I was like so juiced up. I think my body was so tense. I rolled my ankle like 3 plays in. I couldn't even play the rest of the game. Cool. So somebody saw me shoot a terrible 3-pointer and then I rolled my ankle 3 plays in. So that taught me a lot in one big game.
One fell swoop. Well, Gunner's got 2 kind of get your feet wet games, and then it's on the road at Neyland.
Yeah. So who's your first 2?
I like Marshall and Austin P or somebody like that. Yeah. So like he's got 2, like get your toes in the water, kind of get your feet wet. Like you're the starter. Like this is how it feels to be the starter for 2 games. Oh, and then you got to go on the road at Neyland. Yeah. So you got to play in front of 100,000.
We have to go to that game.
I'm down. I'm so down.
So somehow, some way.
You got to play
in front of the game, or just like go and be in Knoxville.
Both.
Either way.
Either.
I think that
those tickets are gonna be pretty.
We'll work it out. Yeah. We'll work it out. We know
figure something.
We'll figure something out.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I am wearing red and black this time though. I will be that guy.
Well, of course, yeah.
I won't be
team playing.
Yeah.
I would not. Yes,
I get it when you're just going Tennessee, Alabama. Like, whatever. I'm just
staying neutral for the third Saturday in October.
Yeah.
But like,
what did you wear?
Just a black shirt.
Oh, okay.
Just a black shirt, shirt, and like some beige shorts. And I was just like low profile until the Texas game kicked off. Then I kind of lost it in the bar a little bit. But
that was fun.
Low profile.
I mean,
the bar atmosphere was terrible, but just like watching that game with Joseph was kind of entertaining.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I tried to reel it in because I was in public, so that was like a lower version of me. Me at the house, dude.
I've never watched a game with you,
dude. It's not watching.
We should do like a lot. If we don't go, I don't mean to interrupt you, but if we don't go to the game, we can't find a way to go or whatever. Like we should like just do like a live watch along.
Yes.
Pod. Because I'd love to see your live reaction to,
dude,
and our live reaction to the game
in the foundation.
Yeah,
like watching a football game with me, college football specifically. I'm locked in. I'm very into it. But watching a Georgia game with me is like it's just an experience.
Yeah,
and I can't. I've tried to help it. I fully understand that it's totally irrational. It's just a game. It's 11 dudes it's not that I cannot see and that have no idea I exist. But like, I'm in. I'm sold. I'm invested.
And to be honest, that in some counties, you could be their father.
Maybe. Possibly. that makes me feel old.
I'm just saying, dog. Like it. Listen, Ray County, there was nothing to do but each other. That was the old additive. We had a strong teen pregnancy rate.
Oh man.
And so I'm just saying, 16 years old, you could be some of their daddies.
I'm gonna say no.
You're not you. Yeah.
You are not the father.
Yeah.
Whew, thank God.
As somebody that just turned 34, I could definitely be, teen dad.
Maybe bring orange
MTV.
Slices.
Yeah.
Like you're bringing apple slices and some peanut butter cups. Like
orange
dude,
slices.
16-year-old me, I was so into
orange.
I was like so into working out. Then I would have been like, we're gonna get protein powder. Yeah, that was definitely where I was at. I read my first like Muscle and Fitness magazine. I was like, creatine.
You just been dry scooping protein powder. Just
I didn't have pre-workout until I was in college, and I do remember that. I remember Jack 3D.
Oh God,
classic.
Dude.
Yeah, I thought I was like, this is crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Jeremy, my buddy Jeremy was like, dude, you gotta take this. He's like, I'd probably take like a quarter scoop, and I was like, nah, I'm a big guy.
Scoop.
I took 3/4 a scoop, just 3/4.
Yeah.
I knew. I was like, maybe don't be too stupid, but
okay,
quarter scoops for wimps,
Oh,
God, I just remember being like, I could run through a wall. And I was like, God, looking for weights, need to lift something,
Yeah.
run on treadmill,
Yeah.
hot girls. Yeah, it's just like all the
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
It's all hitting
It
at the
was,
same time.
oh, and that's why they reformulated it because they're
Yeah.
like, kids
This
are,
is too much.
this is pure crack
Yeah.
cocaine.
Well, I
Especially
went
for
down
guys.
I went down the pre-workout train where it's like you start with like, was it BSN, like NO2? That was like the run of the mill, like
NO2, dude.
every college dude. You'd go in, there's the top of the bar, and it's all liquor bottles, and then NO2, and then just like some random protein powders. It was at every like three or four dudes living in the house. There was a can of NO2 in there.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you. And then from there, it kind of went to. Took some other BSN product, then took some Muscle Farm stuff, and then found Ghost. Shout out Ghost Lifestyle. Loved their stuff. Then got into like, well, maybe if I put this scoop of Ghost in like 8 ounces of like a White Monster, euphoric experience. Euphoric experience.
It's
Would not recommend it. Please don't do it. Would never do it again.
Not endorsing it.
But 21-year-old me loved it. Incredible.
The experimentation you would do with pre-workouts. Like I was like, what's the most?
Did you ever take it before games?
Oh yeah.
No, because I never had it. Like, I mean,
So like I didn't take it in college, but like when I was playing after college, I was playing in an adult league, like men's game, like baseball. I would take pre-workout.
Yeah, I guess I mean,
I've done that before.
Yeah, I've tried
that.
That
Was like energy drinks. People just like they drink energy drinks.
I tried that, but then
I didn't love it. But
the formulas were like too strong.
Yeah.
Did you ever take Bull Knocks? Did you guys ever take
Mm-mm.
Bull Knocks? That was my favorite one. It was a blue raspberry. Our group loved it. And it's like one of those, it's like got a bull on the front. It's like testosterone booster. We're like, dude, I want to get so jacked. But you're just 18 to 21 made of rubber and magic. You're going to get jacked no matter what if you just kind of work out.
Yeah.
So I do remember
work for all of us.
Tried. But I do remember trying that a few times. And I was just like, dude, I'm so wired. So I don't need to play basketball. I'll be like, I remember learning about heart rates, and I was like, I bet my heart rate's like 3,000 right now. So no, to play before basketball, no. A fun one was, I do remember I had like really, really low sleep, and I played kickball one time.
Like on our team?
No, this was the couple years before our team, I think. And we were a horrendous team. We were losing every game. And I was like, I'm going to make sure we don't lose this game. But I was rolling in on very low sleep. I don't remember what it's from. But anyways, I was like, we're not going to lose this game. It was the greatest sporting event I've ever had in my life. I think we played 6 innings. I think I made probably 15 of the 18 ounce. I mean, I was gunning people down. I made a double play from center field. I remember I caught one. The guy tried to run on me, and I was like, not now. I called him out and gunned him down from the outfield of the freaking kickball. And I was like, I'll never be able to do that again. But I promised myself I'll not lose this game. And I scored our only run. We won 1-0.
Wow, in a kickball game.
In a kickball game. I was like, we have to win ugly, and I'm gonna make sure we win.
Yeah.
So I was just out there. It was absolute no-fly zone. I caught everything. If you were at second base and if I didn't think you had a chance, I was going to get it. And it was the greatest athletic moment of my life. And I think I've just gone hard downhill since then.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all right. But I needed that one moment. But I took a large scoop of, I think it was Ghost at the time, because I was just trying Ghost. I think it was when they first came out with the pre-workout.
Oh, dude, those first 2 flavors, the blue raz and the before they did like the Sour Patch Kid flavors, were just so it tasted like pure sugar, but it wasn't. It was delicious, absolutely delicious.
It had to have been something.
Yeah, it's some magical formula of whatever, and then they come out with the collab flavors, and the collab flavors are incredible. But I remember I'd take it before like intramural flag football games.
How was that?
Oh, dude, I was a menace on the intramural flag football field, dude.
Yeah,
loved it. Just like we had a pretty good team, like most years, so we were running the streets of Statesboro.
Yeah.
Like football, baby.
Oh yeah.
But doesn't it feel too like those old school formulas? You'd crash so hard.
Oh yeah. That's one thing I noticed. Like between the I wish I could remember it, because I went from taking NO2 to like some other BSN product, and the scoop like shrunk to like a third of the size because it was like super concentrated. Tasted to this day probably like the worst grape juice I've ever put in my mouth. But I remember I would like take it and then I would just feel horrible after. I didn't get that with like Ghost or the Muscle Farm stuff. I felt, but that's probably a much more refined formula.
Yeah.
But like some of those BSM products, and then obviously Jack 3D wasn't great for anybody involved. But yeah, I'd feel that crash, that like big caffeine dip where you're just like, oh yeah, I'm back to normal now.
Yeah. You know what's funny is Jack 3D was the first caffeine I ever had.
Really?
I wasn't
Really?
a coffee guy.
Wow.
I'd never drank a Monster or anything at that point. And Jack 3D was the first caffeine I ever had. And then my addiction started.
Dude, so I drink coffee now, but like it was never my like choice of beverage. I was always an energy drink guy. And then in college, when when Bang got real popular, it was like 300 milligrams of caffeine, and they taste like rainbow unicorn surprise pop. Like so Rain came out.
Yes.
To rival. Monster was like, oh dude, we got to do this. 300 milligrams. Let's do it. Rain came out. And I remember I used to park at this little BP for college for summer semester I was in. And every day I'd park and I'd go in, I'd buy a Rain. Did it for about 3 weeks straight. And then I sat down in my class one day and I felt my heart like moving. And I was just sitting there. I was like, okay, yeah, I can't do this anymore. Okay. So I'd cut out like 21 days straight of Rain energy drinks.
Damn.
And then from there I went like a while before I had another one.
Yeah.
Now I still prefer them. If I could have them over coffee, I'll take it. But
Same.
I limit myself to I'm like, okay, I have a White Monster this week. Next week I'll have a Red Bull, and then the rest of the time I'm just straight black coffee. Like just because my heart, I'm like, I don't want to risk it, dude. I don't want to test myself like that.
Like I've never had a cup of coffee.
I was gonna ask. I was like,
Like
are you
ever?
a non-coffee guy?
I'm a non-coffee guy.
Like
Ever.
never, ever.
Not like a hot cup of coffee. I've never had I've had like
Whoa.
an iced cappuccino.
Yeah,
like I've
that's-
never had a regular
cup of Joe.
Cup of Joe. Never had a
Just-
cup of Joe.
Dude, you have a straight cup of black coffee and you'll hate it.
Oh, for
Hate
sure.
it.
But like that's the thing. Like everybody always asks me like, why don't you drink coffee? And I'm like, well, if in order for me to like it, I would have to load it up with so much cream and sugar, and I'm just like, I don't need that type of negativity in my life right now.
Yeah.
You know, and I wasn't a big energy drink guy. Like growing up, I never drank Monsters or Rain or any of those things. I think the first time I like really had an energy drink was when like I saw you drinking Celsius, and I'm like, I could use a little boost right here. I kind of could use something. I remember the first time I had one before I went to the gym, I texted you. I was like, oh my God, I feel like I could run through a brick wall right now.
Dude.
I was like, holy shit. Like I'm ready to lift. Like you said, I'm ready to lift some shit.
Yeah.
Like I had never experienced anything like that before. Now it doesn't seem to have quite the same effect on me because I've been drinking them more. But like I had a subscribe and save to like Fit Aids energy drinks.
Yes.
And I just really have stopped drinking them because like I think all the caffeine sort of like messes with my stomach. And so like
It's a lot
you
of
look at my fridge, it's just like I had to stop because I have so many in there. I've got a case I haven't even opened yet. So if anybody wants some Fit Aids energy drinks, let me know.
Always take them.
Yeah. I got plenty to give away. I don't know if I'm going to drink them. I do like the V8 energy drinks. I had one of those today.
Never had one of those.
Yeah.
I've not even seen one of those.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
There's a lot of
Strawberry
good
banana.
ones. I have a C4 fiend here lately. I don't know why. I love the burn.
C4?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's
C4 cans, brother.
I like the cans, but the pre-workout always gave me like, I don't know, I'd always get like stupid hot, like way too hot.
Yeah.
And I'd start
their
sweating
tingle was
hot
too
flashes.
much.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
beta
almost,
alanine in those
yeah.
were too much.
Yeah.
The beta alanine was always too much.
That's what I always saw people having was the C4. I didn't really take pre-workout until like I got out of college, but that's what I saw everybody taking was C4 when I was.
What
Did you
was-
ever have any beta alanine reactions? I actually had this conversation with a
like any overreactions?
yeah. No. Like, did you ever have?
Oh yeah. I was literally fixing to talk about that. I was trying to think of what the can was. It was like maybe it was
So-
C4, but it was like they had like a green lid.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember?
So while you're trying to think of it, I took
Yeah.
it was the Muscle Farms. I can't remember the name of the actual pre-workout, but it came in like a black can and it had the big green MP on it. And I went to I just got it and I was like super excited to take it because I'd heard really good stuff about it. And went to the gym with my brother and some friends and took a scoop right there because my brother wasn't really, he was kind of like cautious about pre-workout. He's like, I don't really know how feel about this stuff? And I'm like, dude, it's great. Just take it. Like, who
You
cares
dry
what you're
scoop
putting
it?
in your body? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think I've ever done a dry scoop.
Dude, dry scooping is great. It's horrible, but it's great because it gets in your gums and it's faster. It just gets in your bloodstream
Straight to the
faster.
bloodstream.
But I took a scoop of that Muscle Farm, and next thing I know, I'm like covered in like the bloodstream rash. My brother's like, dude, are you okay? Are you gonna make it? And I'm sitting there working out. I'm like, yeah, dude, I feel great, and it went away. But I ultimately had to ditch the product. I was like, can't do that. So from there on, I was like, I got to limit the beta alanine.
Yeah. I really can't think of what it was. Maybe it was some sort of Muscle Farm one. But the first time I got that, I was like, the skin crawls. Like, God. I remember I had to basically you want to peel your face off. And I was like, what is in my body? And they're like, you feel it, don't you? Like all my buddies were like, first time you ever taking it. And I was like, yeah, dude, this is a lot.
The itch is great.
But then I love the itch.
Yeah.
That's why I did C4 now. I was like, I need the itch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude. When you feel it in your ears and your nose, and you're just like you're driving to the gym and you feel it in your like face. I don't know. It's just something about it. It's just like it almost like zones you in.
I had a friend of mine that was creating his own pre-workouts.
Uh-huh.
He would get like the whatever lab stuff. And I was like, first off, he was relatively weird guy. Let's call it what it is.
It's dedication, dog.
But I was like, I believe one day he really screwed up his portion control here, and he had like a beta alanine type thing, and I bet he put a little too much because you could just tell he was like kind of twitching. You start to that crawl in your neck, and I was like, that sounds awful, buddy. That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, beta alanine itch, real thing. I love it forever.
It's great.
Yeah.
So good.
Kids will never understand the old school formulas. They'll never understand the first time you took Jack 3D, it was what I imagine cocaine is. From what every movie and story told, Jack 3D is cocaine.
It's probably one of the closest legal formulas to that, or some kind of amphetamine.
Yeah,
one of the two.
Old school. The new school formula, they've fixed it all up, I'm sure. Yeah. God, I did not think I was going to get into pre-workout talk, but I love it, man. The college reminiscing.
Who knew?
All I ate was
Chat It Up Sports,
protein and salads and pre-workout.
That's all you ate in college?
Nah, I mean,
I was gonna say, come on now.
I did a lot of good eating.
Probably crushing some.
I did, but I was super strict.
Were you?
Yeah. I mean, your boy was diced up. Yeah. Your boy was pretty diced up. I had a reason. So. Loved it. I was like, I just want to look like this. And I did. And I was like, that was stupid. That was so not worth it.
Could have enjoyed college a little bit.
Yeah. I was like, I mean, yeah. I was like, there was some, and then I started too. I was like, my junior year, I feel like my dad said something. He was like, like it's cool and all, but what? So you can take your shirt off 9 times a year? And I was like,
yeah.
Dang, Dad. Numbers are cool sometimes, numbers are humbling.
Didn't need to get hit with that right hook, did you?
Yeah. And it was funny. It was just a joke for him. Like he kind of has that, like everything's a bit kind of like how I do sometimes. Like, and so I was like, but it hit home. I was like, what am I doing all this for? Like, I remember like running sprints all the time when I'd come home from summer. Like it's like 97 in the Tennessee heat. I'm just running sprints. It's like I can only eat 100 carbs or less. And
I wasn't even that strict when I played college ball.
Oh yeah, I mean I was running like easy sub 6 miles. Like I was in stupid shape because I was a fatty before, big fat fatty. Yeah, and had to turn around, and it felt really cool to be that shredded for 2 years. But it's definitely not worth it because there were so many things. Like I was even the loser. I was like skipping things. Like I don't know what I'm going to eat there. Yeah. So here we are. All right. Definitely went over an hour.
Always. It always happens. Follow us on all of these social media platforms at Chatt It Up Sports, wherever you get your podcasts. 5 stars, nothing less. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. Follow, subscribe on YouTube. All the good things. For Joseph Guthrie, Chase Green, Miggy, and Garrett Tolley, who are not here. We appreciate you listening. We love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. I'm Greg Launard. We'll see you next time.